What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Comic Club. I'm Justin.
I'm Pete.
And we are here. Alex free. Alex is on vacation in the lovely city of Los Angeles, living it up.
Zalbcation.
It's a Zalbcation. I'm sure he's just sitting somewhere drinking some Lime-A-Rita, watching this feed just to see how we're doing here.
Oh, you think so? I think he's watching the Olympics as the sun is setting on the West Coast.
Wow, that's so true. Pete, I am still upstate New York. It is pouring rain here so hard. So the power could go out at any moment. Oh, yeah, we're going strong with Labatt Blue.
Yeah, let's get it up front. Let's let them know right up top. This is an important part of the show. Cling.
If we're both drinking Labatt Blue Light, that makes this officially Canadian. I think this is an outpost of Canada right now. So shouts to that. But we have a great show for you today, folks. I'm very excited for our guest tonight. Let's bring him out. Are you ready, Pete? Ready to get this going?
Yeah, I am. Let's do this.
We're doing this Pete and Justin style, so it's just a little nonsense. So let's just remember that. But let's talk about our guest. Very excited to have him here. He's a creator of Just a Goblin on Webtoon. Please welcome out to the stage, Mr. Brandon Chen.
Yay!
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here, guys.
Yeah,
Brandon,
man, great to have you.
So what was
love
that?
the comic. Thank you for being here tonight. We love the comic.
Yeah.
And so you just launched season 2 earlier this spring. Can you describe the comic for us? And what's been going on?
Yeah, so Just a Goblin is an interesting series. It's kind of like a play on the isekai genre, which is very popular in like anime. But basically a goblin that exists in kind of like this video game-esque world is super woke about the fact that like adventurers are trying to kill his kind. And he sets out on this long journey to discover why adventurers are like killing goblins, skinning them, like trying to level up and use them for quests. So he goes undercover as an adventurer to try and see if he can bridge the gap between monsters and adventurers. So that's kind of what that plot is about. And yeah, season 2 just started, or not just started. We're like a couple months in now, but yeah.
So where did this love of goblins start, or where did it kind of begin for you?
Yeah, you've always been a goblin guy? Or?
Yeah, have you what's your deal? What happened, man? Ghouls and Goblins, the game back in the day? Like what got it going?
That's got to be what it is.
I played a lot of video games where your first quest is always to like kill the goblin, take their ears, take them. You get 10, whatever for your quest line, and then all the goblins are always evil. I also saw this anime called Goblin Slayer, which painted goblins in a really evil, despicable, terrible light. And I was like, what if we just like looked at things from a completely different lens, from like a nicer light? Like, what if goblins weren't so evil? Why are we killing them? I don't know. So I was like, what if I made like a nice goblin, So that was kind of like the twist when I decided to create that series.
You're disrupting the goblin genre, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
I use the word disrupt because we were reading about you, and you are a self-proclaimed former finance bro. Is that accurate?
It's accurate.
Tell us about that. How you went from that to webtoon creator.
Yeah, so I grew up kind of always being a writer and creator kind of in this space. Always wanted to do it, but it's not very like stable. My parents are very like, do a stable thing. So I went to school, NYU, studied econ computer science. The natural pathway was like, go to the finance bro or tech bro life, get income, do all that thing. But the whole time I was writing. So I've been writing, like I started off in novels, wrote novels from 14 to like 20. And then shifted over into I was doing it for a while, and then shifted over into American comics, and then eventually entered a manga competition in Japan, and that got a lot of traction because we won a runner-up prize, and then I got a few offers to serialize, and one of those ended up being Just a Goblin, which was really exciting. And then I guess things just kept snowballing. I've done a lot of series with Webtoon. And so yeah, eventually I was like, I made a PowerPoint deck for my parents to convince them like
This
that
is
I could do
working,
my job.
guys.
Yeah, I was like, this is the financial like whatever, because that's what they care about, right? It's like they don't care what I do, just like I could be doing whatever they want, whatever I want. Just like they just want to make sure I'm not like living on the street, pretty much. So I just made a PowerPoint deck, did the presentation. It was good, and if I don't hit certain numbers, then I have to go back. So just a heads up.
Wow.
That's
You have to represent. Wow, that's very financial.
Well,
Have your parents, have they read the comic? Have they? What do they think of it?
They're not into this kind of stuff. Well, actually, my mom has read some of my comics. My dad doesn't read any of this stuff, so he doesn't understand it, which is totally fine. It's all good.
You gave us a lot of amazing information there. I want to kind of back up the truck a little bit and talk to you about your love of writing. You wrote novels for a long time. Like, how did that happen? Like, what gave you the inspiration and the confidence to just be like, I'm just going to crank out a bunch of novels real quick?
Yeah, I guess when I was like really young, I read this small manga, Dragon Ball, and that got me really into like wanting to create like series. So I started off as like an artist writer. I used to be like the kid on the playground that would create my own like comics and try to sell it to kids for quarters.
Nice.
From like my inception, but anime wasn't popular, so I was kind of just getting bullied. It's not that fun. And then fast forward, like I'm doing,
you're giving them the
exactly
base to bully you.
Exactly. I mean, maybe now it would be kind of accepted, but like
at the time, it'd be all right.
At the time, I was getting roasted. But yeah, then eventually, I kept doing that until I turned about like 14, and then I realized like I'm not getting better at the rate I want to be getting at for writing and art. So this is a very like anime thing, but like I actually flipped a coin to decide if I was going to be a writer or an artist. Heads for writer, tails for artist. Determined my whole future. It was heads, so I'm a writer now, and it
wasn't best of three. You just did one, and that's it.
I did one shot because I thought I was gonna keep doing it.
I would have got heads and been like, all right, best of three. Like,
best of three. Keep going. But yeah, no. I mean, I have no real regrets about it. I think my time as an artist has helped me from the art direction perspective, because I still art direct a lot of the series that I work on. But yeah, no, I'm it's been a great journey, and again, going all in on that one thing has helped me elevate my writing, I think, a lot. So
right, it's something I feel like we're taught to not do in sort of the modern creative endeavors. It's like do a bunch of stuff. Yeah. But really, it's hard to move forward if you're like, I'm a writer and an artist, and I work in finance, and I'm also a director for commercials or whatever it is you're doing on the side.
Yeah, I think it's always hard to juggle. Like, I juggle a lot of stuff now, but it's always hard when you're trying to build your skill set, especially like in a particular thing, and they're both like conflicting with each other. Like, I can't get better at writing characters at the same time as like I'm drawing a character. It's quite difficult to build those skills at the same time while I'm trying to study for the SATs or something, or whatever I'm doing. So that was tough. Yeah.
Wow.
Can you talk about the Webtoon platform? Like, we cover some Webtoon comics, but we're mostly just your sort of regular comics across the board. So Webtoon, I always feel like hearing from creators what they love about it for people that aren't on it a ton.
Yeah, so I think what's really great about Webtoon, it's a specific medium. It's vertical scroll, which means it's optimized for your phone. Ironically, I was just talking to one of the top dogs at Webtoon, and it's optimized for the phone. But a lot of I brought my friend to this Webtoon party, and she was like, I read everything on my iPad, and he's like, it's not optimized for the iPad. So I think a lot of people read it on different devices, but it's mostly a digital first platform, which I think allows for a lot of like accessibility. Because I think it can be hard to if you want to buy a printed comic, like you have to go to the place and buy it, bring it home, read it. So I think digital comics are just like really accessible. I think the vertical scroll format allows for really specific creative things, like for example, like infinitely scrolling. I can do panels and different layouts in certain ways that can be pretty much an infinite canvas, which is super cool. And then I think from the creator side of things, connecting with your readers is super cool. Like I publish a chapter and then I immediately see that live feed. It's kind of like you publish like a YouTube video. It's like you see the live feedback like immediately, which can be scary if it's if it's not good, but it's cool to see what people are thinking and talking about live, I think. Yeah.
That's really interesting. But do you then incorporate that into your creative process? If you're like, whoa, this thing that you didn't expect to pop off, hypothetically.
I think
then it's that, oh, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, so I think for just the Goblin in particular, I mean, I'm not going to say whatever, but like from a creative side, typically it's very similar to what you might do for like television, where you write your entire season or like what you had planned out for the entire season, like ahead of time. So everything is already pre-planned out for at least that season. And then if you decide to change things for season 2 or season 3 or whatever it is, like that's totally cool. But the thing about serializing is that you can change the plan if you want to. It might mess up everything down the road, which will lead to a lot more work. But you can change the plan based on readers' like expectations and their feedback. There's probably some balance to this. Some editors would say like it's not a good idea to like listen to readers because readers don't know what they want like half the time. And then sometimes they're like, oh, this is unexpected feedback. Like we could go this direction and it would still be good. And the readers would most likely enjoy this. So maybe we can consider that. So I think there's some balance. I tend to lean towards we have a predetermined destination. I'm going to go in this destination, but I have some feedback in my mind as I'm like doing the detailed scripts and that kind of stuff that I can like incorporate and maybe tease something down the road that can lead towards readers being happier.
Now, stuff we get asked a lot is like, you know, if somebody's a struggling writer, like how do you set up your day for success? Like, do you say, okay, I got to write this many pages? Do you do like an outline first? Like, what's your process and how do you get over like roadblocks and stuff?
Yeah, so I think
block, I should say.
Yeah, I think the way to avoid writer's block is definitely. I mean, I don't get it as much, and that's because, like, I sit down and I batch write a lot of things. So I'll like have an outline, which is like again this predetermined season, and then it's like, oh, I already know what I'm going to write down every single day. I kind of just have like a beat sheet, and then everything is from there, just like mostly like, oh, what does this panel look like? You know, front view, medium shot, distant view, whatever it is, right? I'm just like kind of like directing what's happening, but I already pre-wrote all this stuff to avoid. So that's one way to avoid writer's block on a day-to-day basis because everything's already pre-planned through like story beats. I think then how do I write those story beats without getting like writer's block? I would say the thing that I always do whenever I have writer's block is one, if it's like a quick thing, like I'll just take a walk. But I think the best way is by just like living life, consuming a lot of stuff. So like I went to see like Deadpool and Wolverine yesterday, and I was like, that was super fun. Like, you know, crazy ideas for like, you know, cool scenes, whatever it is, characters were fun. Like you just like see a ton of things. I'm always seeing things, always doing things, always traveling, always doing as much as I can just to like get my brain getting a lot of inputs that it's always like you have too many ideas and you write them down. I have a notebook or I have a dream journal or whatever it is that it always feels like there's an abundance of ideas as opposed to the opposite, which is like you're struggling to grasp at that idea. So I'd say that's the first thing, but I'd say the next step is really like for me also just like writing every single day, whether or not I want to or not at this point has been, I've been doing it for many years, has been, again, just like a muscle in my mind that I have exercised. And so, yeah, now that's also part of it is like just having the discipline to write whether or not you want to or not. So yeah, those would be my tips for newer writers for sure.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's we get that a lot, and I do agree with a lot of everything you said. But I also like very much find that art feeds art, like going to see stuff, whether it's a play or a show or a movie or whatever, really kind of can light you back up, you know.
Yeah, I love Broadway. I actually I love Broadway too. I go to see Broadway all the time. I'm like, I'm not taking. I sometimes I get ideas and I'm like, that came from this Broadway show, and I was like, how they're so different, yet at the same time, any input can really inspire any idea. I really believe that.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
great.
Well, let's talk about the book a little bit more, because you do incorporate a lot of sort of topicality into the book, or subtle, or like part of our modern culture, even though it is Goblin based. Can you talk about how you do that? Because that can sometimes be hard, finding the line that you want to hit in any creative event.
Yeah, I think there's this thing. So again, like it's very there's very specific topics that inspired that series. Again, it was partially the Goblin stuff. I think when I came up with the idea, there was a lot of like I would say like racism that was happening in the U.S. and this was during the beginning of COVID when there was BLM, there was a lot of Asian hate crimes happening, and so there was a lot of like division, right? And when I think about Just a Goblin, it's kind of under the guise of these characters, the monsters and the humans, but the underlying theme actually came from was happening, in the early COVID days and racism and that kind of stuff. So I try and tell these kind of thematic things in a way that's not just like so super. I mean, it is pretty clear, but it's not like this, super in your face. So that's like I'm trying to like shove something down your throat. I think the key thing that I've always tried to do with this series is like, how can I make it entertaining, super fun, still have that shonen anime vibe, while also telling this kind of like tale of like, like very thematic things that I think everyone can kind of like get on the same board with. So it's not like super controversial. It's not super controversial. So I think
you're anti-racism. Okay, Brandon.
Yeah, and so spoiler. That's my So I think like just like the anti-racism, and then again trying to draw a lot from history is a big thing that I try and do a lot, especially with season 2. There's a lot of like historical stuff from important moments in history regarding racism that I've tied into this series that again you would probably understand it, but it's in a way that's also still like fun, what I mean, for the series at least.
It's nice to have layers of stuff for sure. Are there like other comics that you like, or you kind of that inspired you? I know you talked about Dragon Ball like being the first, but is there stuff that like you like to check out, other kind of writers like yourself that you like to read their work or check their stuff out?
I read a lot of webtoons, obviously, to study what's happening in the medium. I think with regards to Just a Goblin, there's like this system fantasy aspect that's really popular in the webtoon space, especially with Korean comics. So like Soul Leveling and Omniscient Reader are big, like one of the larger series that are kind of in this space. I think Reincarnation of a Slime was a pretty big inspiration here, which is like another isekai anime that I think the easiest two manga that made a big inspiration on this series was Naruto and Berserk. I don't know if you guys have read Berserk, but both of those series have very strong like duality of characters, like the two characters that are pretty much like night and day, that offset each other and balance each other super well. And I wanted to kind of like also incorporate that into this series. So this series also has two main characters, obviously from the human side, the monster side, and they all have their own reasons for why they're doing whatever they're doing, and they're having their own journeys and arcs. And so I really took a lot of inspiration from those series, like that did those two character duality things very well.
Awesome. Man.
That's awesome. Before I forget, we have a professional chef who is a fan of the show. His name is Brett Macris, Straight Bullet. In the comments, he works at a great restaurant. He is the head chef at a restaurant down in New Orleans called Wild South, and he's created a cocktail in honor of Just a Goblin called This Drink is Just a Goblin. And I can send this to you as well, Brandon, but it's gin, orange liqueur, lime juice, basil leaves, and absinthe.
Whoa, that's so cool. Send me a picture. Yeah. I'm a huge gin guy. I love gin, so that's sick.
He does. He's a great, not only a great chef, but a great bar chef, and this is a good one. So get that fresh basil and mix it up. But I'll send that over to you after the show.
Awesome.
Cool.
So how much more do you have left in season 2, and can you give us a little bit of direction on sort of where you're headed with the book?
Or a tease.
Yeah, Just the Goblin. So right now, I think we're like halfway through the season right now. So I think a big part of this season has been focused around the monsters. So like the first one was like the first season's monsters pretending to be adventurers, becoming friends. This one is more like the main character's like reconnecting with kind of his roots as a monster, the different kinds of, you know, monsters that exist. And they're obviously in this kind of like concentration camp prison, and are trying to escape. And I think, you know, hopefully we get a season 3. But if that happens, then I think my next route would be like really focused on, I think like the reconnecting with kind of like the friendship thing. I think right now everyone's so segregated in terms of like what's happening in the main series, and they're torn apart. And I would love to like bring it back to the roots of the main part of the series, which is like everyone like more of a friendly type thing. Right now it's a little bit, the vibes are negative, you know, the vibes are down. So I'm like, how can I bring the vibes up? So that's what I'm thinking about.
Do that.
Feels fresh.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you trying to bring the vibes up, man. That's super cool of you.
Appreciate it.
Especially, I don't know if you can hear, but there's a massive thunderstorm happening where I am, so I need any vibes to keep the power on.
Oh my God.
But before we let you go, Brandon, is there anything else that you want to plug? Anything else you're working on that you want to put aside?
Yeah. So just the Goblin season 2 is obviously happening. I'm working on a few other series with Webtoon, but so there's also Samurai no Tora. The second season of that comes out in September-ish. Then I have another series called Angel Wings that's coming out. I've been working on that one for like 3 years now. That one's coming out in October, so that's really exciting.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and so those are the two series that are coming to the Webtoon platform on the original side that are going to be pretty soon. So yeah.
Awesome,
exciting.
Man.
Do you feel like you'll ever get? Do you ever want to get that printed copy of any of these?
I do. I want it so bad. So if Webtoon's listening, like you should. I know they're listening, so they should definitely make it happen. We could even my team would even make the files for you. Just gotta. I even know the people who
look
can
at that.
Make this
what an offer, Webtoon.
So
come on, do it make it happen.
I know, make it happen. But yeah, no, I would love to have a printed version. I think that's like the dream. You know, I have like a giant bookshelf of just like manga, comics, books
Nice.
in the back. You can't see it, but I'd love to have it up there. So yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, we will be crossing our fingers for that. Thanks for
can't
being
wait
here,
to read
Brandon.
it, man.
Great to talk
Awesome.
to you. Good luck out there. Good luck with the rest of season 2.
Awesome.
Yeah,
thanks so much for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Yeah, take care.
That's Brandon Chen. You
gotta check out his stuff, man. He's fantastic.
Just a Goblin. You can go there right now and check it out. Keep listening to us talk, obviously, but go check out.
Yeah, multitask.
Multitask. You know, just like we said not to do. Just the thing that Brandon said not to do is what we're telling you to do. So definitely check that out, and definitely check out the cocktail that Brett Mackless made for Brandon and Just a Goblin.
People watching, usually we do a better job of the graphics, but since we're Zalbin free,
get out of here.
We're doing things, you know, a little bit more old school.
We spent a lot of time coordinating having the same beer, and that's the time we could have done.
We could have been doing a lot of other stuff, but
you know what time it is? It's time for our favorite section because you guys make it up. It is audience questions, folks.
Yeah.
Audience questions. If you have a question, please put it in the comments, and Pete and I will do our damnedest to answer it with our little marching theme music. So we've already covered what we are drinking, and that's Labatt Blue.
Mm-hmm.
What made you do you off? Because this is a huge break from Landshark.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, I always, being from the Ra-Cha-Cha, upstate New York, I got to keep a stash of blue on me at all times, you know, break in case of emergency. And, I just figured since it's you and me solos, what a time to celebrate the upstateness, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're living that upstate life. I've been in upstate New York for 1 month. So that's been a lot of time to really get bitten by mosquitoes and stuff.
Yeah, you've been slipping back into the old ways, man, or what?
Yeah, easily. Look at me. I look like I washed up on a beach. I'm like, if there's a Jimmy Buffett of the Woods, that's the song I'm in.
Oh man, Jimmy
Well,
Buffett of the Woods.
Let's jump into some questions.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of questions now.
It's popping. They see us. They're ready to help us out here. From Michael Tillman, where's Alex? Too busy honing his Photoshop skills. Yes, he's at a Photoshop clinic. He's trying to find a way to add his 13th and 14th ab to his sex photo that Pete hates, and that I tried my damnedest to find today to bring onto this show.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
He
ab free today as well. This is a great day.
He doesn't have it saved in StreamYard. He has it stashed somewhere. He likes to show it off, but he doesn't want it out. That's the thing. He doesn't want it out. We have Easy Reader saying, what announcement excited you the most from San Diego Comic-Con? San Diego Comic-Con happened just this past weekend. Lots of stuff announced.
Yeah,
I mean,
a ton of stuff.
One that definitely got some conversation going in our Patreon Slack and in my everywhere, basically. Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom.
That seems like a fake. That's a
fake.
I just think that what do we
paying him $80 million for that?
I mean, I you know what? I don't know. I mean, I never thought I'd say this out loud, but I kind of agree with Gwyneth Paltrow, where she's like, "What are you doing, man? Like, what's going on? This seems weird." I think he's great as Iron Man. I mean, you know, spoilers, but he died, so I don't know. Coming back as a Doom bot? I mean, I know there's old school comics where Iron Man was Doom, and you know, I could see that being fun, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I guess in Marvel we trust when it comes to stuff like that, and you know, I'm sure he just wouldn't sign on for something dumb if you know. But who knows?
It's interesting to me, like if we want to theorize a little bit here, because he's playing Doom, so that's strange. But 2 movies coming that we're going to do: the Infinity War Endgame classic. Don't you think? This is my hypothetical. He is going to pull the mask off, reveal himself to be an evil to multiverse Tony Stark, who has showed up there. Because I was saying, like, why would you bring? Everyone wants Tony Stark, and you know they like Robert Downey Jr. portraying him, but everyone wants that, you know, quippy superhero, great hero, great energy, great jokes that defined the MCU after Iron Man, and. So they're bringing him back as Doom, a character that does not make quips traditionally. And honestly, I don't think we want quips from our guy Doom. But I think if you reveal him to be evil Tony Stark, then you get quips and evil. And the only people that can take him down are the classic Avengers coming back.
Yeah, but why is that fun for them to kill their friend, who's just a different evil version of the person that they care about?
Maybe he's evil. Well, but I would also argue then it gives you like a potential Darth Vader style redemption arc, where a evil Tony Stark Doom could then be redeemed. It's wild. I mean, Doom
I just hope they give him the Viking funeral at the end. You know what I mean? Because that was super important.
You gotta have a Viking funeral. What do you think when your Viking funeral? Can I shoot the arrow?
Oh yes. That would be honored if you would.
Good. I'm probably gonna miss a couple of times.
You better work on your arrow skill while you're upstate, man. Come on, dude.
I'll swim it out and just light a match. That's the skill I have.
Boo.
Jump over to a topicality.
You lost privilege. You lost that privilege.
Oh, what? You know a better archer? How many archers?
I might by the time I die. I got from now until I die to make an archer friend.
Wow, great. Love where your head's at. Favorite Olympic sport, Pete?
Oh man, there's a lot of great stuff happening right now. I've been really enjoying the women's rugby. It's been love the beach volleyball and the regulation volleyball. I'm excited to see breaking. The surfing was kind of crazy because the waves are so dangerous. It's been kind of insane, but man, that's been awesome.
I love that
too.
They're like, the Olympics are in Paris. The surfing is in Tahiti. Let's just get there.
Let's go.
So good, yeah. Very fun. My two daughters have been very into the gymnastics, so we've been watching a lot of that. I watched some fencing today. That moves fast. It's hard to even watch it. But
yeah, I almost think
that.
like in hockey. Remember when they used to highlight the puck? If they did that with the point at the end of the kind of the pointer, so you can kind of see where it is because it moves so fast. I don't even know if you could slow it down or what you would kind of do, but it's tough to kind of pick up what happened.
Yeah, maybe sword fighting back in the day, fast. You can't half-ass it. You can't be, Viking style drunk. It has to be fast.
Yeah, I'd rather be drunk. You know what I mean?
Nice. If you had to compete in one, what would it be? Olympic sport for Michael Chen.
I don't know. I want to say curling because I'm good at bocce.
That's winter. Winter Olympics. Yeah, we could definitely hang with the curling. That's the everyman's game is curling. I feel like we would all. You could drink Labatt's Blue and curl.
Yeah, you can. It's the only way to do it.
I don't know. I've been watching also some handball, and that would be fun.
Yeah.
The very aggressive handball that has been an event this year. What about floor gymnastics? Rhythm gymnastics.
The ribbon.
Yeah.
Old Will Ferrell stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's awesome to watch. It's fun to kind of get swept up in it, for sure. And I've been kind of checking it out and looking at the medal count and stuff. So it's a good time.
Yeah, it's a good time. We did release a podcast about this, but David Quinley asked, did you see Deadpool and Wolverine? If so, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was an absolute blast. I can't wait to see it again.
You're going back.
Oh, I'm going back. Yeah, are you kidding me? The fights sequences alone are worth it. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. It's a good movie. It's very, the more I sit with it, the crazier and crazier I think it is that they made a overly confusing Marvel movie and then roasted it at the same time. That's a baller. Because I was like, they could just make a regular movie where it isn't have all this like Matthew McFadden just being like, here's 19 things that he has to say in every scene. But it worked. It was very fun.
Yeah, man. Definitely was a blast.
Scheuchler with a controversial question. What have you always wanted to say to Alex but never had the nerve to?
I don't know if there's anything I've always wanted to say to Alex because I feel like at this point we've said it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the closest thing was I feel like maybe a month and a half ago, we gave each other a compliment on here. I think someone was like, give each other a nice compliment. And honestly, it was really, that was the stuff that I was like, oh God, this is so intimate. This is real. So there's very little things Pete said everything to both Alex and I that anyone could ever think of from a cutting way.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there's any new ways to come at you guys or any evil things that I've got left. I feel like I've said it. But
good. You emptied out the evil.
Yeah, bucket. It's not a nerve issue with me, man. You know what I mean? I got no problem saying anything to Zalbatron. You know what I mean? Like
that's nice. And Shrikla, you certainly know that we've said everything. So, Easy Reader says, "Do you like the bonus pages Marvel gives you with the QR codes?" I like it. I do too. I think it's a cool little thing, and it's like either check it out or don't.
Yeah, it's nice stuff like that where it doesn't like get in the way of you enjoying what you want to enjoy. It's just a nice little bonus that if you want to check it out, you can. So I think that's a perfect way to do things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not fucking up the flow of shit with something. You can just kind of enjoy it.
One more from All in the Game. Any thoughts on Marcus and McFeely not returning like McFeely and the Russos to the MCU fold? Here, surprising. So Marcus and McFeely, just great writing team that has worked on probably your favorites in the MCU. They're not to have a team break up like that or not be involved, I'm very curious. I mean, you can never really separate who's doing what. They are a writing team. So I don't know. A little in all of this positive news, everyone's very happy and wound up for sort of bringing the end game team back together. This feels crazy.
Yeah, but I think I don't know what's going on behind it, obviously, but I also think there is something to like going to the well too many times and knowing when to step away from something, where it's like if they felt like they've told stories and gotten to do great things, then yeah, then they should step away and get to enjoy whatever life they would like if that's what they're doing. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I hope it's not something where they're like, fuck this, we're out. You know what I mean?
Well, but if they're McFeely always feels like the not real one too. That's a Mr. McFeely situation, and then Marcus felt like the real person because that's a real name. So
you're saying McFeely's made up? Is that what you're trying to call out?
That's what I'm saying. McFeely not really is the hashtag I've been working on. McFeely not really.
It's close to Tim Seeley.
Touchy feely, McFeely not really. Tim Seeley.
There we go.
That's what it is.
Shouts.
And that is it for your audience question. Thank you, folks, for giving us those. Now, usually we turn it over to a little section called trivia right here.
Yeah, but first, I'd like to, since we get to control how things, I just like to do a little check-in. You know what I mean? Just see how you're doing, Justin. You've been doing a lot. You know, kind of see how things are going up there in the upstate, and how's your family? How are you, man?
That's really nice, Pete. I'm good. I'm excited to get back to the city, but have had a truly lovely time. The one sad bit of news that I have to share is part of the show. My dog Pip passed away. Pete's got the Pip Don't Slip shirt. We had to put him down last week. It was very sad. But he was lived a great life. He's up here in the woods, got to run around for the last 3 weeks that we had him, and he had been diagnosed with heart failure. This is a dog we're talking about, just to reiterate, diagnosed with heart failure. So he was sort of like on his way out, but he went faster than we thought, caught us off guard. But it was really nice that he got to be up here. Because we're up here and not in New York City, we like made a little space for him. It made like a little area. I carved his name into a stone, which you can see right there. And that was hard. Carving into stone is hard. So shouts to all the gravestone guys out there. So yeah, Pip slipped, straight bullet. That's exactly what I said. And Pete got mad at me.
Yeah.
Pip
did not slip. No, he never slips. No. The guy went out on top. You know, I mean, he did his job. You know what I mean? He helped raise your family. He was a big part. One of my favorite members of your family. No offense.
He ranks well above me, I know.
I love that dog, even though I only got to hang out with him a handful of times. It was glorious every time. And I mean, that's part of the reasons why the T-shirts were made, because he was an unbelievable dog and a fantastic presence. So I'm really sorry for your loss.
Thank you, Pete. He made his presence known in a lot of our podcasts.
Yeah, I know. It was always great when we got to see a cameo for sure. I know a lot of people were like, you know, more Pip, you know.
Yeah,
so
I don't know about a lot of people, but definitely some.
Yeah.
And that brings us to our next section, which I don't know if Pip can be in the in memoriam, but I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't want to, you know, have it be too sad. But, you know, I get a lot of flack for not going as fast as I should through all of the heartbreaking celebrities that die. So I couldn't, but I wanted to give Pip its proper due in its own place, you know. So
Michael Tillman has it right here. A right and honorable thing would be to make a large nod to him in the trivia segment. It seems fitting. Just don't do it next year. Exactly.
Yeah, it's added.
And straight bullet, Pip will be missed. Pip never fucking slipped.
That's right.
and that's really nice, but that's not a great nickname for anyone to have. Never fucking. Pete Never Fucking LePage is a horrible.
Hey, yay!
I don't think we want to make that stick, right?
Yeah,
Pete
exactly.
Never Fucking LePage.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not.
All right, let's jump over to trivia, and for that, we're going to turn it over to Mr. Pete LePage.
All right, this is the part where we give back to you, the lovely audience. Thank you so much for listening. It's an opportunity to win $25 free to Midtown Comics online, because if you had $25, you want to get some comics. So all we need is a first hand up guy or someone in the comments to say me, pick me, and you will do the trivia.
Yes, do the trivia. Be the trivia.
Or we could make Justin do it, and then I don't know.
No, I could never.
Pablo's in.
Oh, we got Pablo.
All right, Pablo. Today's trivia is about the amazing comic I Kill Giants, and a small nod to the legend Taylor Wiley, R.I.P. Please listen to all three options before making your selection. Here we go. Question number 1, Pablo. The 7-issue series has won awards, but what I want to know is who is the main character? Is it A, Barbara Thorson, B, Barbara Thor's sister, or C, Barbara L. Southern?
Yes, famously, that's how siblings work. It's a first name sibling.
Yeah.
That's why Pete is brothers with Pete Townsend, and all of the
Nat
other
Townsend?
great. They are actual brothers. His name is Nat Townsend.
Wait, Pete Townsend and Nat Townsend not related, even though spelled completely different?
Not related, but you have punched both of them. It's crazy. That's crazy.
Fun fact.
Violent fact. Pablo, how you doing up there with the trivia answer?
I feel like Pablo's trying to say A, but his keyboard's not working, so we'll just assume that he typed A and move on. Here we go. Question number 2.
There it is. He's got it. Is it A? He says. He's putting it in the form of a question. Michael Tillman, Jeff Daniels, and Jeff Bridges, also not related. I beg to differ. They're brothers.
Question number 2. Who put out the comic I Kill Giants? Is it A, Image, B, Nicole, please stay home, the weather is crazy outside, C, Nicole goes?
Wow, they're very dramatic. You're starting to get into your dramatic period. You're like Hemingway.
Oh man, I guess because you're classically trained, maybe secretly
for sale, baby shoes never used. That's you, Pete, right now. That's you. You're bringing it. Give us a little bit behind the curtain while we have a second. What time of day do you write trivia, and what drives your writing process?
It's usually early in the morning. You know what I mean?
Really?
I feel like
Over
that's
a
when
cup of coffee.
That's when I get my juices going. Pablo, you were correct. It is A. Here we go. Last one.
A cup of coffee, looking through the obituaries from 9 months ago, writing trivia. Beautiful. Beautiful image.
There we go. All right, question number 3. The writer of this comic also worked on the screenplay. Who is it? Is it A, Joe Kelly, B, when you try to tell Alex less is more, you get C, Max Alex?
Good one. That's a good one. Sorry, I was just doing some technical things. There's a lot of levers behind the scenes here. You got to be doing a lot of stuff.
It's no fun. It's no fun to be the host, as Alex likes to call himself. We're just co-hosts. You know what I mean?
We're all co-hosts. We've got Pete CBC over here. Anyway, early morning, and then you just let the trivia sit. No rewrites. You don't come back at it.
Oh, I got to rewrite it. You know what I mean? I'm not a first draft and go kind of guy. Pablo, you're correct. It is A. Joe Kelly, the amazing writer who wrote I Kill Giants, that I can't recommend enough if you want something fun and creative and good for all readers. Yeah. And in case Scheuchler was wondering, I was talking about the 2008 hit comedy Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Wow. And great. And what was the name of the actor you were memorializing here by saying a movie that they
Uh, Taylor Wiley, who was a big part of that, dude. It was hilarious. Remember that scene where he's like, "Are those happy tissues or sad tissues?"
That's great. I don't remember that, but I love it.
Oh man, great movie. Check it out.
Yes, check it out. And please check out Pablo, who's going to be either going and buying comics at Midtown Comics or enjoying a lovely meal at Long John Silver's. One of those two things. As we all know, tomorrow is New Comic Book Day.
Yeah, it is.
Pete, what are you looking forward to at tomorrow's comic book shop?
Well, I'll tell you, there's a lot of great stuff coming out tomorrow. I'm looking forward to talking about it on the Stack podcast. I got to say, shockers, but you probably won't be surprised by this, but Wolverine number 3, I am looking forward to talking about a lot, as well as Miss Marvel Annual number 1.
Wow, nice choices. The Miss Marvel Annual is part of this new Infinity Stone event they've been doing, which is interesting. I am looking forward to seeing where that's going because it's been sort of weird and wild, I would throw out there. I'm looking forward to Department of Truth number 24, a book that has been heating up a lot lately.
You love that comic.
About a long ongoing series by James Tynion IV about JT4 about sort of the secret people that actually run the world and how belief, if enough people believe in anything, it comes true. Yes, there's our guy Jason popping up. And I also want to shout out Fantastic Four number 22. This is a Blood Hunt tie-in. Blood Hunt ending tomorrow with Blood Hunt number 5.
Hunt!
The Fantastic Four number 22, Ryan North has been writing a fantastic book.
I see what you did there.
Yes. And
you're overusing it.
The idea, you think so? It's fortunate that we get to read such a fantastic book by Ryan North, and the fact that it is a Blood Hunt tie-in makes me excited for it, his take on this world. So check all of those reviews out of those books in the Stack podcast, which is what we're going to do later on. And folks, that is the show. We did it. We did it.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here, Pete, and I want to thank Brandon Chen as well for coming out. Check out Just a Goblin, his book on Webtoon.
Yeah, please do.
Next week, we have some great guests coming back here on Tuesday at 7. Mike Scrace from whose comic Zip is a grungy superhuman comic. Going to talk about that book. And then Rodney Barnes from the anthology horror podcast Run Fool.
Rodney Barnes, cool. Yeah.
Please check out Comic Book Club News every day. Our news podcast that drops at like 6 a.m. bright and early. Alex records that, but the sun is still not up. And then in our main feed, we have a new draft episode. We're going to be drafting some our own teams from a very particular. We did an X-Men draft and drafted our individual perfect.
Yeah, I'm
X-Men
excited
team.
For the Justice League draft. Come on,
we're doing Justice League next, so get ready for that. You can throw some bucks at our Patreon, patreon.com/comicbookclub. You get access to our Slack where we talk almost too much over there all day, all night. You can subscribe to all of our podcasts on Apple, Android, Spotify, or the app of your choice. Check us out at Comic Book Live on Twitter, X, Comic Book Club Live on Instagram, TikTok, and of course, comicbookclublive.com for all of our information, all of what we're doing, and more. Folks, thank you so much for being here. We will see you next week.
Yeah, take care of yourself out there. Woohoo! What's up, Stray Bullet?
Perfect timing. Good night, everybody. Thank you for being here. What a technically perfect show, as usual.